Tony was 9 when he received his first skateboard as a present from his older brother. He says the gift changed his life and gave him an outlet for all of the energy he had as a kid. It wasn't long after that when the Birdman started getting noticed. He earned his first sponsored Dogtown skateboards at the age of 12. He would become a professional skateboarder just 2 years later at the age of 14. 2 years after that, Hawk was already widely considered as one of the best skateboarders in the world. Talk about exploding into the scene. But the good times have a funny way of not lasting for too long. The man who would go on to win more than 70 skateboarding contests struggled during the early 1990s. The culture of skateboarding was changing. Tony had excelled while skating vert, but now all anybody wanted to see was street. By the time Hawk reached his mid-20s, he was already considered a relic from a bygone era. Tony remembers having to take on various odd jobs during that time just to pay the rent. It was one of the most challenging times of Tony Hawk's career. The bad times have a funny way of not lasting forever too. Tony experienced a massive surge in popularity after skating at the first few X Games. The Extreme Games were widely televised and brought the thrill of competitive skateboarding to a completely new audience. Hawk found himself in the spotlight thanks to the impressive tricks he landed during the competitions. The 900. The 900 was the trick that changed everything for Tony Hawk. The trick required him to rotate 900 degrees, or about 2.5 turns, well in midair. It had never been successfully landed during a competition before Hawk did so in the 1999 X Games. After landing the trick, Hawk was thrust into the national consciousness to a degree that a skateboarder had never reached. He was no longer just an athlete. Hawk had turned into the first true skateboarding celebrity. Video games and pop culture. As if landing the 900 wasn't enough for Hawk in 1999. That was the same year Tony Hawk's video game series hit the market. Pro Skater 1 debuted as an instant classic. With this breakthrough release, Hawk had once again penetrated a part of the American consciousness that a skateboarder had never reached. The video game allowed anyone to experience what it's like to skateboard. This caused many kids to pick up a board and try the real thing out for themselves. Pro Skater 1 became the spawning point for a video game empire. There are 18 Tony Hawk Pro Skater video games so far, including 10 main series titles, 4 spin-offs, and 4 remakes. The game was published by Activision and quickly became one of the best-selling and most popular video game franchises of the early 2000s. As of 2019, the franchise has surpassed more than $1.4 billion in worldwide sales. Tony reportedly earned more than $6 million per year in royalties for those games in the early 2000s. Despite the success of his video game franchise, Hawk has always been more than a video game character. After retiring, Tony started Boom Boom Huck Jam, a tour with live music, freestyle motocross, skateboarding, and BMX. The show started in Las Vegas and then went on to visit 31 cities across the United States. Tony also became a mainstay in films and television. He was Josh Brolin's skater double in the movie Thrashin' and appeared as a skateboarder in films and TV shows like Gleam in the Cube, Lords of Dogtown, and Viva La Bam. Personal life. By the end of the 2000s, Tony was a full-fledged skateboarding legend. He had experienced decades of competitive skating success and became a pop culture icon. Hawk didn't walk his path to superstardom alone. In 1990, he married Cindy Dunbar. The pair had Hawk's first son, Riley, in 1992. He followed in his father's footsteps and became a professional skateboarder. After divorcing Dunbar in 1993, Hawk married Aaron Lee and had 2 more sons, Spencer and Keegan. He's currently married to Catherine Goodman. Life after fame. Tony Hawk retired from competitive skateboarding in 2003. However, he's still very present in the industry. The Birdman launched a YouTube channel in 2011, which has grown to have more than 1.5 million subscribers. He still regularly appears on TV shows and is continuing to release new video games. Tony has also given back to the skateboarding community through the Tony Hawk Foundation. Since 2002, the organization has provided grants and technical assistance for new skate parks in all 50 states. The foundation focuses on gifting skate parks to low-income areas that otherwise wouldn't receive them. It's fitting that Tony Hawk's life has mirrored the path of skateboarding. Like the sports he loves, Hawk has also experienced long periods of maintenance, followed by sharp growth. He exploded onto the skating scene as a teenager in the 1980s. He survived the sport's transition from vert-centric to street-focused in the early 90s. Then, when the X Games arrived and the vert came back, Hawk was well positioned to dominate. His success at the competitions led to a video game series, widespread celebrity, and helped him build the first skateboarding empire. Hawk is retired from competitive skateboarding, but still skates regularly. He will forever go down as one of the sport's biggest legends.